Okay, so you know how I've said many times in my videos that locks are for honest people. And I'm serious about that. I've had fuel stolen from me out of my tanks, and I'm pretty sure I know who did it. He's just been recently arrested for another crime. I kind of had an idea that it was that particular individual before he was arrested for the other crime, because he was arrested for the crime of stealing fuel in the past from another farm. That individual had been on this farm at one point. Just bear with me here while I put my tripod together. It's kind of strange if you're watching me do this, but I do want to show people why I say that locks are for honest people. I don't lock anything up unless it's tractors, but even that, the tractors are glass, and if the windows and stuff in a tractor are glass, and if they really want to get in, you know, they're not going to break, they're just going to break the glass and go from there. So what I've got, if I can get this stupid tripod set up here, over horses, do this way. I don't know why everything seems to be so difficult today. Yeah, what the hell? Anyway, what I've got here is, I think somebody ran over my tripod, to be quite honest with you. Alright, so what I've got is a lock. Alright, it's a master lock. See, master lock company right there. And I lost the key to this lock. I did. I lost the key to the lock. So what do you do with a lock that you've lost the key to? You know, and people spend literally millions of dollars a year on keys or locks to lock their stuff up because they think that it's going to stop a criminal from stealing stuff from them. So, okay, I've just locked it to this chain now. I'm not joking. I mean, you can do what you want. It ain't coming off. You can smack it. You can do whatever you want. But I needed to get into what I had with this thing locking. I told a cousin of mine yesterday that it's real simple to unlock a lock with a ball-peen hammer or any hammer, for that matter. And you just saw me do that, right? You saw me unlock it. I didn't beat the shit out of it. You know, I didn't like whack, whack. And there's nothing wrong with this lock other than the fact that I just opened it without a key. Alright? So if I put these on my fuel pumps and I forget the key, or I lose the key and I can't find it, I can just go get the ball-peen hammer. I know that I can open the lock. I know that I can open the lock with a ball-peen hammer and then still use the lock. Let's watch. I'm gonna show you again. Okay. So now I can smack this thing. Oh, it actually did open that way. Well, shit. That's actually a surprise that it actually opened that way. Because it should have. And it doesn't normally do that, but I can beat on it, I can smack it, I can do whatever I want to. But if I don't want to be detected that I've broken into somebody's, say, fuel tank and steal, I find the nice little plate at the bottom that says Master Lock Company. That's where I want to strike this thing. One shot. Alright. I think my lock is getting a little bit worn out from doing this a few times. Matter of fact, I do believe I actually broke the damn thing now. No, I haven't broke it. No, I haven't broke it yet. These locks have tumblers in them, and the tumblers are on springs. So the trick to doing this, now I've done it. I've got it locked that way. But the trick to doing this is pretty simple. Those springs hold the wedge that goes into the bar here, or the locking device, So those springs hold that in place. Well, if you've ever put, say, a hammer head onto a hammer, you just kind of hold it upside down and smack the bottom of the handle a few times, and that will actually drive the head of the hammer onto the handle. And then you go ahead and you put the wooden wedge in, you do that again, and then you smack it a couple more times, and then you take once you get it in good and tight, then you take the steel wedge and you drive that in sideways to expand it so that it's expanded widthwise and lengthwise, and your hammer head is there. Well, that theory applies also to these locks. Maybe you won't be able to see me do this. I've got to get enough pressure on the damn thing to hold. There. Okay. The little locking gizmo on the inside there, it goes straight across and it locks in on that bar, both sides. You can see there's a spring here, and that keeps it tense against it. So when you're smacking the hammer, what it does is it moves those wedges as you hold pressure, and then when it gets to the last little bit of this wedge here and you smack it for that third or fourth time, it releases it. There, I'll do it again. It'll release it. Now, once you're done doing your dastardly deed and you really want to baffle the shit out of the property owner, you just take the lock and you go ahead and you put it back together like that, right? Now, seemingly it's locked. I mean, this thing, the lock is getting kind of beat up, but yeah, it's locked now. You just go one, there. This lock is getting pretty beat up. But that's how you take a lock off if you don't have a key. These things to me are just useless. They really are. If you want a lock that actually does lock and you can't get it apart, to be honest with you, those locks are the type that are like, they're a twist style. These are useless. So if you're in an area where people can get into your shit and you're using these, you're not gonna prevent anybody from stealing anything by that. You just steal it. Just whack, whack, whack. Done. In. I think I've demonstrated that fairly well. Maybe not. That lock is pretty beat up. It is now because I've smacked it a few times. I showed my son how to do it. He's like, you know, he said, Dad, we're going to have to get something to cut the lock off of the fuel tanks with. I said, no, there's no sense doing that. I said, just get me a hammer. He says, oh, well, you'll break the cast iron. I said, I ain't going to break the cast iron. I said, I'm not even going to break the lock. And he saw me do it, and his mouth open. He's like, his jaw dropped. He's like, what do you mean? How the hell is that possible? That's a lock. That's supposed to be a security, safety device. And, you know, in all aspects, yeah, to an honest person, it's just like locking the door to your house. Well, unless you've got bars on your windows and steel plates in your doors and multiple locks down your doors, the locks on the doors are vulnerable. You can just give it a good kick. I mean, yeah, to give it a good kick and you're in. It just breaks the door jamb, which is made out of pine, unless you've made it yourself like I have, and it's oak. There's a little difference in my house. There's actually a steel plate in there because I put it in there because I built those door jambs myself. But for the most part, locks are for honest people, like these tractors. You know, I go over and I lock that door, and, you know, I leave for the night, and somebody wants to actually get into that tractor. They're going to try the easy way, the handle, to see if it's unlocked, and if it isn't unlocked, they go get a rock and they smash the door out and either steal the tractor and leave with it, which you can buy those doors every day. They make them new ones every day. You drive that thing right up on a trailer and boom, your tractor's gone, and somewhere someone buys a new door for the tractor and they're using it. So yeah, locks are for honest people, just so you know that. So I had to demonstrate that because of the way the fuel was getting stolen. So right here it is. This was where the lock would have been, right there. And this piece here was the second part of it, and they just broke it off. So what do you do when they bust that piece off to get to the the nozzle out. So that was one of the things that really just did it for me. I even had the key hanging here. Oh, here's another lock. There's a lock with a set of keys. You know, there it is. But what's the point? Because they broke it off. It was laying there, and the fuel was gone. So you just got to go to newer. What I did, you know, I went into a newer device. The cameras that I have pointed at the fuel tanks, they either moved really slow or they're just out of range of my cameras because they weren't setting them off at night. So that's just the way that works. But anyway, I guess I've yammered on enough. Hopefully I've showed you how useless locks really truly are. And if I didn't, if I've just taught you how to break into somebody's gas pumps, well, you're taking that risk into your own hands. Because quite honestly, at this point, I think if somebody stole fuel from me, at this point, I'd just shoot the motherfucker. Because I've had about enough of it. But I think I've got it. I mean, I haven't had any fuel stolen since I did that. And since that one individual was arrested. So, I haven't had any issues. Thanks for watching.